Now, this is concerning and extremely alarming, and I hope you guys are paying very close attention to what's happening here with particularly Wells Fargo Bank, and more importantly, how I'm going to have to make this video pretty quick because they close soon. Actually, let me clean off all this condensation. Just something you gotta deal with when you live in Florida. Every time you go outside, it's just, you get wet with all this intense humidity. But yeah, the bank closes at noon. So I need to get there and try to get my money out before it's too late, because apparently Wells Fargo is freezing accounts. I don't know if you guys have seen this one here, but this was sent to me, an email from a viewer. Really do appreciate that. Thanks, Patty. And it says that Wells Fargo allegedly freezes bank accounts after $207,765 deposit, seizing customers' funds without adequate explanation. Why does this concern me? Well, for good reason. I have a considerable amount of money, income, revenue that I earn through various businesses and being a YouTuber and content creator that gets sent to Wells Fargo. So now I may have to redistribute these funds elsewhere to another bank, perhaps maybe a local bank or a credit union, or just take it all out and buy gold. Either way, this story here is really concerning, especially if you guys have a Wells Fargo bank account, and more importantly, you have large sums of money that are being sent to you to be deposited into your accounts. Now, I did mention YouTube content creator. Right now, I'm actually recording on my Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, but I am breaking out the GoPro Hero 11 Black more often now. I don't know. I forgot how much I really enjoyed this action camera. And this also makes it more likely for me to get up and out and explore more and bring you guys some of these cool videos, like, I don't know, maybe like this one here. All right, here we go again. or what is happening in the banks is alarming. It's concerning, but it's also the reason why I choose to do certain things in a certain way. Number one, I don't get checks. I don't do checks, direct deposits, wire transfers, ACH, preferred method. Number two, so like YouTube, when I get new channels monetized and I get them set up in AdSense and I get them set up in part of the YPP YouTube Partner Program to make money on YouTube, side hustle income, passive income, I only set it up to get direct deposits because they do give you an option to be sent a check. Now, granted, I do have some affiliates that do send checks, but they send smaller checks monthly. So I'm not too much concerned about those, not alone, like just from the value of them, because they're not huge, but they do add up. This is compound interest here. We're just adding on and adding on and adding on, continuously stocking up, stockpiling, and preparing, for the bigger picture. It's literally like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that's essentially what these small checks do. They just continuously add up to one day be something grand. And the other thing is that I'm not concerned about these being flagged by the bank. With that being said, I would never open a brand new bank account with a brand new bank without a banking relationship and then deposit a $200,000+ check into the bank. And here's why. A new lawsuit alleges Wells Fargo seized the customer's funds and shut down his bank account over a legitimate $207,765 deposit. Ethan Parker says he opened a new account at the bank late last year specifically to deposit a large check that he received after the death of his adoptive mother. But 15 days after the deposit, which is more than likely the hold period for that amount of money, Parker are legally allowed to hold that amount of money. Parker says Wells Fargo then shuttered his account, took the funds, and accused him of forging the check. And according to the lawsuit, Parker then obtained a letter from the firm that issued the check to confirm its legitimacy. But the bank was not swayed and continued to deny Parker access to the funds without adequate explanation. And again, this is why I may be a little bit on edge and skeptical about the bank having too much of my money. The lawsuit asks that the courts to force Wells Fargo to release the funds and says Parker has been damaged in an amount to be proved at trial. And in a statement to Triangle Business Journal, a Wells Fargo spokesperson says the bank plans to defend its actions. We strongly disagree with the allegations made in the suit filed by Mr. Parker and will defend our position as we believe Wells Fargo took the appropriate actions. They took the appropriate actions. What they did was they took this man's money. Now, and they'll do it again. They will, trust me. Parker says he's now unable to make house payments, and his lawyer says they're looking for other people whose accounts were improperly closed by the bank over accusations of fraud. Comment down below. Do you know anyone, or perhaps maybe even you yourself, have had your bank account closed over accusations of fraud, whether it be Wells Fargo or any other bank for that matter? And if so, how much money did they take from you? So it says that last month, Wells Fargo agreed to pay a $35 million civil penalty to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission for allegedly charging excessive fees to customers for investment advice. And the bank settled without admitting or denying the accusations. How convenient. But again, folks, the other thing is, if I were to expect to receive an extremely large check, which I would have to assume that, this gentleman here, Parker, he should have, if not really, already had a bank account somewhere. So to go to Wells Fargo to open a new bank account to me seems a little suspect. But either way, I would not open a brand new bank account to then deposit a massive check. $207,765. I would consider it to be massive for most, okay? That's not a normal run-of-the-mill check, okay? Reason being is this is what would be classified and labeled and flagged as suspicious activity. And these banks have SARS, Suspicious Activity Reports. The reports are plural, so SARS, Suspicious Activity Reports. And you open a brand new account, you deposit a massive amount of money. They don't have any historical transactional data or, any reference of who you are. It's going to raise some eyebrows. It's going to get some attention, okay? Main thing that I would do to protect myself in the future from these situations would be that if I'm expecting an extremely large check, can I get that money wired? Okay. Wire fraud is less likely to occur and more likely for you to have access to the funds and also receive the funds sooner than having to wait for the 15-day hold, for which he waited 15 days for the hold, and then even after the 15 days was then had his account shut down. So if he had any money in there besides that, that's gone too. So those are some of the things that I would do first and foremost. But if I didn't have a bank account and I was expecting a large sum of money and I couldn't get a wire transfer, and everything that made logical sense beforehand that would prepare me for the funds to be transferred and made available to me without any interruption, delay, hiccup, or obstruction or obstacle, I would choose to open my bank account with the bank issuing the check. So that bank probably wasn't Wells Fargo. Therefore, Wells Fargo couldn't verify. So I would go to the bank issuing the check. That bank literally can verify the funds in-house themselves and then immediately put it in my account. Unless, perhaps, maybe in this instance, this check written to Parker that they allege he forged was in fact from Wells Fargo Bank, and Wells Fargo knows for a fact that he did in fact forge this, then that's a whole nother situation that hasn't been disclosed or expressed in this daily hodl news and insight for the digital economy clickbait titled article here. Wells Fargo allegedly freezes bank account after $207,765 deposit, seizing customers' funds without adequate explanation. New lawsuit would clearly bring ample light to the situation and quite possibly make this a less interesting and desirable story for people to want to watch, read, or even listen to.